Well, my friends, what do we have here? Well, as I've been saying now, as Tony Seba has been predicting, there's going to be millions and millions and did I say millions? I meant tens of millions. I meant maybe even hundreds of millions of jobs lost. And we're just charting this on the channel here. We're seeing these changes, this disruption. And yeah, I've been banging on about disruption in the automotive industry. It's enormous. It's crazy. Europe is being disrupted massively. Europe is about to be slammed by these Trump tariffs. It's going to be massively painful for them. They've been putting tariffs on American cars now for many, many years. Now it's going to be done back to them, and they're crying to mummy about it, which, I understand. I understand why they'd be affected. But it's actually much worse than this, because at the same time that Europe is being disrupted by China and now the United States with their tariffs, and by China also selling cars into places where they sell cars, like Mexico and Thailand and Brazil and Australia, many places around the world, they're also being disrupted by robots. And if you don't think this is true, well, look, Mercedes-Benz are already using robots, Honda's using robots, everyone's using robots, and robots will continue to get better, and more job losses will come. We're talking, look at the job losses announced by the Volkswagen Group, by Audi, by Porsche, by all these different German companies, numerous companies, Nissan themselves firing around 10,000 people as well. Look at the job cuts we've seen from General Motors, from Ford, from Stellantis in the United States over the past 12 to 18 months. We're talking about, put all these companies I've mentioned together, we're looking at probably hundreds of thousands of job losses. But that doesn't really tell you the full story, because the full story is eventually these automotive factories will not employ people. They'll just simply I'll turn off the lights. They won't need lights. These robots won't need lights to operate, and humans won't be involved at all. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. And now, to add to the fact that some Chinese car manufacturers are replacing humans with robots, Honda is also doing the same. They're replacing workers with robots and artificial intelligence to slash costs at their EV plant in China. Now, it's worth pointing this out. It's already around 50% cheaper to make a car in China than it is in the United States. Oh, actually, it's about 40%. It's about 50 to 55% cheaper than in Europe. It's actually much more expensive to make cars in Europe than America, but obviously much cheaper again in China. Honda's EV factory, they say in China, requires 30% fewer workers than human employees. And Honda is betting on automation and artificial intelligence to transform its EV production processes in China, reducing its need for floor staff by 30%. Now, this is a bit misleading, because the truth is that over the last 30 years, we've already reduced our need for floor staff in factories by around probably 80%. If you look at a modern production line, guys, if you've been to a car factory yourselves, you'd know what I'm talking about. But if you've been to a modern car factory in China, or even in the United States, a Tesla factory, there's not that many staff needed in comparison to what was needed, say, 20 or 30 years ago. It's a tiny fraction. But that fraction is still a big number. For example, Tesla still has 140,000 employees, right? BYD has more than 1 million now. However, while robots haven't yet fully replaced human workers, the tech Honda is rolling out, along with similar efforts from companies like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Dongfeng, NIO, etc., shows that for blue-collar workers, they will lose their jobs eventually. My suggestion, and I've been begging people this for a long time, people when I do this in person, they just look at me like I'm a nutcase. I'm begging them, retrain. You need to do something different, something creative, something like live, could be entertainment and media. That's where the money's going. Look, it's going into sports. Look how much these NBA franchises are selling for. Ridiculous amounts of money because of the media rights deals. So media, I think, is a job that will give you more job security. My suggestion is, if you've got some knowledge in an area, make a YouTube channel. Make a YouTube channel, because you definitely can do that. Learn how to speak. If you can't speak in public, go to Toastmasters. I'm trying to tell people to do this. They're not listening to me, but you need to listen, because you're going to lose your job. The manufacturing industry is going to be disrupted at the fastest pace you can possibly imagine. Remember, compute speeds, AI training compute, these things are all rapidly changing. Quicker than what you can possibly imagine. The Japanese automaker recently kicked off, I'm talking about Honda here, kicked off production of the all-electric Yi P7 with its local joint venture partner in China. The factory in Guangzhou uses automated guided vehicles, or AGVs, to move important car components throughout the factory, including heavy battery packs. Traditionally, human workers are required to transport parts throughout the factory. Of course, that's changing. And factories that I saw in China when I was there recently, they use robots as well to move things around the factory all the time. In an interview with Nikkei Asia, Honda revealed that it's also using AI to fine-tune the welding process for the EP7, the goal to reduce fixed costs as much as possible. The company sees electrification as an opportunity to overhaul the way we produce vehicles, a chance to reimagine everything from the ground up. There's another thing I haven't mentioned here. Hopefully, I don't get arrested when I go to China for saying this, but safety standards in Chinese car factories, they do focus on safety, but not as much as what the West does. I was in one car factory in China and a robot would have taken my legs out if I'd let it. They're meant to be able to see you, but they often don't. And they can hit you. You've got to jump out of the way. So, if these robots don't work perfectly, some of these companies don't care. They're like, well, does it do a good enough job? Yeah, guys, don't get in its way. If you see it coming, jump out of the way. Well, all good, boys. Yeah, right, move on. Keep going. They probably wouldn't allow that in some Western factories, but China is like push, push, fail. Yeah, all right, we'll fix it. Push. So that's what you're competing with. These robots are not going to be perfect to begin with. Some might be, but a lot of them won't be. But a lot of these Chinese companies, they don't care. They're like, well, we need to innovate. We need to reduce our costs. How do we do that? It's cutthroat. We go bankrupt. Otherwise, you don't reduce your costs. The Chinese car market is a bloodbath, there's no doubt. We don't reduce your costs, you go bankrupt. And you have to innovate. So you're really forced to use these kinds of things in order to improve your efficiency. And now that Donald Trump is imposing 25% tariffs on all cars sold in America that are not American and all parts that are not American made, it's going to put these legacy automakers who are already struggling in a huge bind. They have no choice but to do things like this, fire staff. The EP7 is an important vehicle for Honda, says carscoops.com. In most Western markets, the Japanese car manufacturer sells barely any electric cars, and it's in trouble. Honda is. So is all these Japanese car manufacturers. Much like the S7 introduced earlier this month and built with Dongfeng, the P7 has a 90 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's a pretty big battery, and this car is like $22,000. It's really cheap. If you think about it, it's like that's the price of 2 Tesla Powerwalls. And Tesla Powerwall is what, 13.5 kilowatt hours? It's 27 kilowatt. This battery pack in this car, right, is what, 4 times the size of 2 Tesla Powerwalls? So you're basically paying for 2 Tesla Powerwalls, but you're getting, 8 of them. Plus you're getting a car. I mean, you have to innovate, right? It also has pretty good range. It's got 400 miles of range and very good charging speed. But like I said, they'll lose money on every single one of these that they sell unless they find cheaper ways to make them. And it's the same for many car companies around the world. They're losing money on electric cars. In fact, a lot of car companies, their profits, regardless of whether it's internal combustion or EVs, their profits are just contracting almost every month. Look at their numbers that are coming out of them. Even Porsche is really struggling. So they need robots as fast as possible. That means if you're working in a car factory, you're doing manufacturing, not even car factories, manufacturing of some sort that supports any industry, it's all being disrupted and jobs are going to go very, very quickly. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I should point out though, if you're one of those people who tries to argue this is not happening, you're just one of those morons who puts their head in the sand and everyone just looks at you and thinks, that dude can't handle it. His emotions can't handle it. I get it. I actually feel the same way about my job. I think it's even possible in this industry I could be disrupted by someone better and smarter than me, an AI version of me that's better than me. That's possible. But we have to accept this will happen. It's inevitable. Maybe just work your ass off and save as much money as you can now, hey? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.